Alright, YouTube. Update on the boat situation. It's kind of a mess. I finally managed to get out both live well pump, aerator pumps, and the bilge pump. The bilge pump was the hardest to get out by far. And I did run some tests on them. Okay, obviously this one's broken. This is where it was leaking in at. Threw the piece away. I'm guessing this one was the one that was put in another at one point later on. They might have both been replaced at some point, but this one is obviously older and it still works. I'm gonna go and replace it anyway. Somebody cut that off with a rough saw. I also don't like these filter covers. They were barely on there, being held on by silicone. I'm gonna get some of those twist-on stainless mesh screen ones. It's just all the rest of the hardware there. Of course, we got the bilge pump. Bilge pump appears to be newer. It's an Atwood Sahara. I guess it's an automatic. I'm probably gonna put an automatic one in here because I don't see a float switch anywhere down there. Thing was hard to get out. I had to unbolt and move around the fuel tank and move a lot of stuff around just to get to it. I tried testing it a while ago and it did not work. Just gonna... Yeah, it was apparently bolted to the bottom of the boat and I just broke it off the bolt. That's what the inside of that looks like. That thing's been sitting for years. The impeller barely spins. The motor, I think, is seized up. There's all sorts of wood chunks and gunk in the bottom of that boat, so I imagine this thing's probably burnt up. Long overdue. I'm probably going to get more of these Tsunami series Atwood pumps. They seem to have the best reviews on Amazon. I could get some of those Shoreline Marine ones that they have locally at Walmart and all that, but on Amazon those things have terrible reviews, so I'm going to stay away from them. Bilge pump, I might go with one of those, or I might just order, I'll probably just order another Atwood automatic. Whatever's got the best price and best reviews. So there it is. Anyway, right now I'm working on a bracket for my license plate. Turned down for security reasons. Because the way I had it mounted, it was just going to fold over in the wind or get it back into something. So this is what I came up with. There's some, I think these are 12-inch mending plates from Home Depot. I've drilled additional holes for them to line up with the holes. Kind of see it there. And I'm also going to put a light that shines down on the license plate, just in case. Just so I'm fully legal. It's actually my dad's idea. And in order to mount that, I'm going to have this, just like that. More or less. Just like that. And I got a little light. I don't have it out here with me right now. And I'm going to mount that right here. And probably run the wiring to it tomorrow once I figure out which wires to use. And I'm also going to replace the aerator motors today. Or not today, tomorrow. Probably this weekend. It is July 4th weekend and I've got a 4-day weekend. So, gonna make the most of it while I can. Alright, so I got the license plate mounted up. Turned out pretty good. It's exactly what I wanted to do. And now for the fun part, is going to be figuring out how to put this license plate light on. Mounting it shouldn't be a problem, but wiring it's going to be kind of interesting. Probably going to have to look up how to hook this up, because it's got 2 wires. Oh no, it's only 1 wire. Thought it was 2. I guess I just connect that to the brown running light, the same way that these little yellow lights on the side are connected to. I'll Google it to be sure, but I shall show you all the results. Alright, so it's July 4th. Happy July 4th, everybody. Of course it won't be when I upload this. I've been working on this thing since about Thursday night, Friday. Still a little wet down in there, but I just finished putting the gas tank back where it goes, hooking the hoses and wires up as needed. About to hook everything back up to the battery and test everything, but this is pretty much the result of my work. This is Fast Secure marine grade caulk. Scraped off all that old clear junk. Didn't have clear in this, so I had to get white. Home Depot. And I got these off Amazon, of course. I got most of the stuff off of Amazon. Aside from like the nuts and bolts and all that mess. Wire splices, all that I got from Home Depot. Got a little bit of stuff from Atwoods too. 3/4 inch aerator screens. Fit perfectly. I did reuse part of the old ones as kind of basically washers. Got caulk under them and around them. Caulk around the nuts. Of course, they're both Atwood 800 series. Tsunami 800s. I got them wired up. I haven't tested them yet. I'm gonna have to test them, see if I got the switches right or not. The bilge pump is in. The bilge pump is free floating because I could not hardly screw it down. So it's basically just being held down there by gravity. I went ahead and hooked up I'm not going to reuse the old wire lead off the old bilge pump, so I basically got this one hooked up. That's the wire to the battery, and it's the new lead. It's just a 20 amp fuse. Picked this up at Atwoods. The fuse wasn't included, but fuses separately. Of course, that hooked that. I got new ends put on for the new motors. I got them spliced onto the switch leads. So I'm gonna have to. I already put a new switch in for the bilge. I'm gonna see if the front aerator might need a new switch. If I have to, I'll take the switch I got for the radio and bypass it. The light switch I know works. Horn switch I know works. Of course, it's not hooked up. Pretty sure those switches work. I'll see. If not, switch from Home Depot. Anyway, I'll report back on that as soon as I'm done with it. Alright, so it's Monday, July 5th. I'm off today, so I'm going to continue working on this. I'm basically going to run new wires from the back of the boat to the switches. This is kind of the diagram I came up with. I know it's a mess. So I got the negatives, I'll go into the negative. They're fine as they are, but the positives are going to have to be rerun. There's two coming off the bilge pump. One for automatic function, one for manual function. That's supposed to be tied to a 3-way switch, but the hardware store I normally go to is closed today, so I had to go to the next one down, and they only had 1-way switches, so I'm just going to make that work. Probably just cap off the auto wire. And I've already got the other good switches for the rear and front. I just got to run new wire, and I'm going to reuse this fused lead that used to go to the old bilge pump. And basically probably reuse that for the aerators, or maybe use that for the new bilge pump. I tested it with a meter, it seems to work. So I'm gonna run a couple of pieces of extension cord through the boat again, like I did for the speakers, and we're gonna make this work. Alright, so I'm done with that. I just finished putting the control motor battery back in. Everything's wired up. I tested it and it's good to go. Rear live well aerator. I don't know if you can hear that. Front and bilge pump. That splits off of that. I got a quick splice on there. One goes to the bilge pump, the other goes to the two aerators. I think 20 amp fuses would be plenty for each one. It's working. The next part of the problems I gotta deal with now is getting the impeller replaced, probably, on the motor. That might be a couple weeks. But it's getting hotter here. I got stuff to do. That's gonna be all for today. This has been a weekend long ordeal, and I'm glad that I'm finally done with it. CB Tech stuff out.